Bahrain GP. Max Verstappen edges Charles Leclerc in Practice 2, Lewis Hamilton struggles. Max Verstappen beats Charles Leclerc with Red Bull and Ferrari split by a tenth of a second at the front, but Mercedes still can't find pace in Lewis. Hamilton finishes 9th and 1.2s off. Watch Bahrain GP final practice and qualifying live on Sky Sports F1 on Saturday. Max Verstappen finished the first day of Formula One's 2022 season on top after edging Charles Leclerc in Bahrain GP second practice, with Red Bull and Ferrari moving clear of Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton struggling down in 9th. F1 got a first look at the grid's true pace in the evening session, in cooler and more representative Bahrain conditions similar to qualifying in the race, and it provided an intriguing pecking order for the season opening weekend, dominated by two teams, and two drivers in their all-new cars. Recommended. 1/5. F1 Bahrain GP. What's worrying Mercedes and can they fix issues? Explaining worries as opener looms. Read more. Recommended by. Leclerc led for much of the hour in the incredibly consistent Ferrari, but world champion Verstappen stormed to the front for Red Bull come the qualifying simulations on soft tires, posting a 1:31.936. Gasly fastest in surprise F1 2022 start, Hamilton 7th. Hamilton calls for transparency in FIA report, Max. We don't need it. Bahrain GP. When to watch live on Sky Sports F1 this weekend. It was a benchmark that would not be beaten despite Leclerc's best efforts, with the Monegasque finding more pace on his final fast lap but finishing just 0.087 sadrift. Carlos Sainz was third and half a second off in the other Ferrari, who appeared to be a genuine contender at the front and, as predicted by many after preseason, look set to go toe-to-toe with Red Bull. My gut tells me we've got Verstappen versus Leclerc for pole, said Sky F1's Karun Chandhok. But the hope of a three-team fight may be fading this weekend, with F1's 8-time champions Mercedes still unable to match their rivals. While George Russell was reasonably competitive, 0.6s off the front in 4th, Hamilton could only manage a meager 9th place. Both drivers, meanwhile, were bouncing along in their cars with Mercedes seemingly unable to fix their porpoising issues, nor unlock their W13 speed. Some sort of problem with the front brakes, man, the front right is pulling, said an increasingly frustrated Hamilton on team radio. He added afterwards, we're faced with much bigger problems this year. Fernando Alonso was 5th for Alpine while Hamilton was also beaten by former teammate Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo, 6th, and even Mick Schumacher in the Haas, 8th, highlighting F1 2022's clean slate. Kevin Magnussen was 10th in the other Haas while McLaren were one of the teams dropping down the order, with Lando Norris only 11th and Daniel Ricciardo way down in 18th, only ahead of the Williams. Pierre Gasly also struggled after surprisingly setting the first practice pace, finishing 13th for AlphaTauri. Nico Hülkenberg, stepping in for Sebastian Vettel at Aston Martin this weekend, was 17th. Red Bull versus Ferrari in Bahrain. What's happened to Mercedes? Red Bull, with their RB18 which is working nicely following upgrades, and Ferrari, in an F1-75 which has always looked fast this year, were expected to make a strong start to F1 2022 in Bahrain. But Mercedes' pace, or lack of, is certainly a surprise to start the new era. And while their rivals' starts should be lauded considering the giant regulation changes, Merck's opening day was undoubtedly the major talking point. Despite Mercedes' insistence on the contrary, most suspected the sports-dominant team for the last 8 years were sandbagging with their pace, but Friday proved just where they stood in the pecking order. I think it's clear we're certainly not where we want to be, said Russell, who insisted 4th place on the quali runs flattered him somewhat. I think we made a bit of progress, but the pace is just not there at the moment. We're a long way off the pace of Red Bull, Ferrari, even the likes of AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo are on our pace or quicker, so got a bit of work to do. Russell also spoke of damage limitation while Hamilton, referencing a car that doesn't look quick or comfortable, stressed, it appears that it's probably going to be a more longer-term fix, so nothing in the short term. That has left what could be a Red Bull versus Ferrari fight at the front. It's been a positive day for us, said Red Bull boss Christian Horner. I think Ferrari are very, very quick. I think they could well be the car to beat. Final practice begins at 12 p.m. on Sky Sports F1, with a crucial first qualifying of the year at 3 p.m.